Hello and welcome to this World of Warships video. Today I have episode 2 for you for What's in a Name. Episode 2 is going to go about the Kriegsmarine Großer Kurfürst. Tier 10 German battleship. I don't have it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Now I skipped Friedrich der Große because Friedrich is a lot of work and Großer Kurfürst was something I could do quite fast, really. So let's start with what's a Kurfürst. Now this is not the person itself yet, but I want you to have a picture first about what a Kurfürst is before I really go into the person. In English it's called an elector, so Großer Kurfürst means greater elector. It's a function in the Holy Roman Empire, as you all probably know. Before 1870 Germany didn't exist and it was part of a greater empire called the Holy Roman Empire. It wasn't particularly holy, it wasn't Roman either, but it was just something that was named like that just for prestige, basically. It was a big clusterfuck of tiny nations with the area I live in personally as well. You have Flanders, Brabant, Liège, but also Brandenburg, which is in this case quite important, and of course Austria as well, which has been the seat of the emperor for quite some time under the von Habsburgs, the people I basically stole between brackets the name of for my YouTube channel. I will first explain to you what the elector system is. This big empire I showed you the last slide was all governed by one emperor. It wasn't by birth that you would gain the title, but it was actually elected by the electors. Now the biggest, most important nations of the Holy Roman Empire would gain the elector title. I use a screenshot from a game here to explain it to you a little bit better. In this case you have Bohemia, Brandenburg, Cologne, Mainz, the Palatinate, Saxony and Trier as electors. During the lifetime of the current emperor, these electors would all choose the next emperor already. In Dutch we call this the Roomskoning. Not really sure what the term is in English, but it's basically the Roman king, if I translate it. The Roman king would be the next emperor the moment the current emperor died, so they wouldn't have a lot of shit to deal with basically if the current emperor died, so it was quite a decent system like that. Now, those electors in the course of time gained a lot more power than they initially had, especially after 1648, which is the end of the 30 Years and the 80 Years War. The 30 Years War being a big religious war in the Holy Roman Empire itself, and the 80 Years War being the War of Independence of the Netherlands from Spain. These coincided because the Netherlands was a Protestant kingdom back then, and Spain being a Catholic bastion and also family of Austria, also a Catholic bastion, it really clashed. Now, it ended in the Treaty of Westphalia, which can be subdivided in the Treaty of Münster and Osnabrück in 1648. And some people call this big conflict World War Zero because it basically involved the entire known world at the time. You had France, Spain, Scandinavia, Russia, basically the entirety of Europe fighting each other, and because the colonial powers were all involved, this was basically the entire globe already. The result of the Treaty of Westphalia was that the electors would gain a lot more power over foreign affairs and religious business than the emperor. The emperor basically got cut down in power a lot. But that's basically a very quick summary on the war of on the 30 Years' War, because you can do like lectures of multiple hours. Like when I was in uni, we had uh, three lesson blocks of 3 hours about this one conflict. So you can really go quite far. It has been the conflict that defined Europe for centuries after that. But now let's end up with the Großer Kurfürst, the Great Elector, as I said earlier. It's Friedrich Wilhelm, Elector of Brandenburg. This is a little map right here. It shows Brandenburg in 1640, when he took over at the age of 20. It consists about small territories in the west of Germany, Brandenburg in the center mass, and then the Duchy of Prussia, which was part of Poland a few centuries before. He inherited that. He was elected from 1640 to 1688, the moment he died, and he was called the Große, or the Great, because he had a lot of military and political achievements. A few of these achievements were that he rebuilt a lot of his war-ravaged territories quite fast. The 30 Years' War caused a lot of harm in Germany. It cost millions of lives. Especially Sweden was known for ravaging a lot of the land to feed its armies with, a tactic that other armies would take over because it was extremely successful. He was also known for religious tolerance, which was quite a feat back in the day. A lot of nations were quite hurt by the war between the Protestants and the Catholics. Friedrich himself was a Calvinist, which is basically a Protestant, who are generally speaking a lot more tolerant than the Catholic Church was back in the day. He also led the groundwork of Prussian militarism. In a conflict with Scandinavia, he marched his entire army in 15 days over a distance of 250 kilometers. You have to think they did this without horses, without cars. They basically had to walk all by foot over quite small roads. So that's quite a feat. He was known for establishing warfare that supported on mobility. But that's basically everything that I found interesting about the Großer Kurfürst. As I said, it was going to be quite a small lecture. He is buried in the Berlin Cathedral. I will show this on a map. If you know where the Brandenburger Tor, the gate, what do you call this in English again? The Brandenburg Gate. Yeah, good job, Tony. If you know where the Brandenburg Gate is, it's basically just down the road. It's also quite close to a railway station if you would really want to visit it. Also on the same island as the Pergamon Museum, interesting museum if you are interested in ancient history. I've been there myself. It's quite amazing to watch. They have a huge reconstruction. If it's a reconstruction, because I think they took a big part of it from Persia. It's also quite close to sea life if you would want to visit that, you know, watching the dolphins and stuff. But yeah, that was basically it for this lesson, this session. I hope you liked this video. I will surely bring you more. I got a lot of feedback that was quite positive from my last video, so I would like to continue this series. The only thing that rests me is to wish you a very nice day, and I hope I see you guys again. Bye.